So this is actually just one polynomial expression, and we're asked to simplify it. It's not adding two polynomials together or subtracting two polynomials or anything. It's just simplifying one. And what makes it not simplified is that there are some like terms that can be combined. And basically that's all we're going to do with whether we're adding or subtracting or whatever. We're looking at combining like terms. So when you look at that expression, do you see two like terms?
2x and 5x.
The 2x and the negative 5x are like terms. The thing that makes them like terms is that they have the same variable part. They both have an x. This 8x squared doesn't have an x, right? It has an x squared, which is different from the x. These are the two here that are like terms because they have the exact same variable part. And that's what you have to look for when you're going to combine terms is their variable part exactly the same? So they could both have an x, or they could both have an x squared, or they could both just be numbers with no variable at all. And those would be groups of like terms. In this case, the x's. So all I'm going to do, 8x squared stays there because there is no other x squared term. But what's 2x minus 5x? Negative 3x, right? So you could either just look at that and know, or you could, on your calculator, go 2 minus 5, or 2 plus negative 5, or think about those zero pairs that we were building yesterday. 2 of the positive x's have to go with 2 of the negative x's and disappear, so there's 3 of the negative x's left over. And then I'll just put the plus 7 at the end because it doesn't have anything to combine with either. I want everybody to try this one. With this one that I just wrote down, there are two sets of like terms, right? There's the 4 and the negative 7, and when you put those together, it's negative 3. And then there's also the negative 3x squared and the x squared, and when you put those together, negative 2x squared, and then the negative 9x is there. Nothing to go with it, so we'll just copy it down below. But this answer's not perfect. It's correct, but it's not perfect. What's wrong with it? It's not in the right order. So it's not wrong, it's just not the way we like to see our answers. Usually when you do something like this, the way you're going to put your answer is in descending order of the variable, which means the highest power of the variable comes first. So actually, which one would we put first? The negative 2x squared, and then the minus 9x, and then the minus 3. Like I said, this isn't wrong, but it's just not perfect. This one's perfect. And now try this one. Like I said before, we're just looking at combining like terms. So we look for what terms have the same variable part. And here we have 8ab. Are there any other ab's? Yeah. Negative 4ab. So those ones can combine together. And that's going to be 4ab. So you just add or subtract the coefficients and the variable part stays the same because we're just adding them together. And then we'll look at the b squared because that's what's coming up next. Negative 3b squared and 4b squared. How many b squareds is that? 1. But I'm not going to write plus 1b squared. I'm just going to write plus b squared. When the coefficient's a 1, we don't usually show it. And then I have plus 2a squared. And if I want to put this in the proper order, it would actually be 2a squared plus 4ab plus b squared. This is one where you're actually adding two polynomials together. And basically, it's just like what we were doing before. It has brackets in there, but you don't even need the brackets. This is the same as if I just had 7x squared plus 3x plus 9 plus 2x squared plus 5x minus 2, as if the brackets weren't there at all. It's the same thing. Because you're just adding, you can eliminate the brackets altogether and then look at which terms are like terms. Well, we have a 7x squared and a 2x squared, which makes 9x squared. And then we have a 3x and a 5x. So altogether we have 8 x's. And then there's still a 9 and a negative 2, so plus 7. Okay, and the last one. This one is slightly different because this one is not adding two polynomials, it's subtracting. We did this yesterday. So if you remember, here's how it goes. The first polynomial is just going to stay the same. Oops. So I'm going to go 2x squared plus 3x plus 8. But what does that negative do to the second polynomial? Changes all of the signs, right. So the x squared was positive, now it's negative. The 5x was positive, now it's negative. And the 1 was negative, now it's positive. So that negative switches all the signs in there. And really the reason that that happens is because this is a negative 1 in front of it, and we multiply everything by negative 1. But you can just think of it, if you want, as switching the signs of those, and then start combining terms. So we have 2x squared minus x squared, which is 1x squared, and I'm not going to write the x. And then I have 3x and negative 5x, so that's going to be negative 2x, and then 8 plus 1 is 9, and there's your answer.